I hope that everybody is doing well. I didn't post a video today because I've been traveling and this last week has been crazy, but I did want to show up and have a little conversation with y'all because it's about to be our 6th birthday here on the channel, but it's about to be my actual 36th birthday, and I wanted to come and talk about how it makes me feel and some things that I've learned over the years. When I first started like my journey of entrepreneurship and creativity, well, yeah, creative. I've been creative my whole life, but when I decided to pick up and leave home, I was 26 years old. I decided to leave my apartment. I left my keys to my brother. I left the keys to my apartment to my brother, packed up my car, sold my stuff, and drove across the country to Arizona from PA. I didn't have a job. I had a place to stay. I went and I stayed with my best friend and her boyfriend, but I didn't have a job. I just had a brand new car that I just bought that got hit 2 weeks after I got to Arizona, but that's besides the point. Uh, I did that when I was 26 years old, packed up, left. And when I got there, I was so miserable. I was so freaking miserable while I was in Arizona. I felt lost. It was just me and my things in my bed in this room. I journaled a lot. I prayed a lot because my initial goal was to go to North Carolina. Like I wanted to go to North Carolina, but I couldn't find a job. I couldn't find a place to stay. So while I was in Arizona, I decided to keep trying to get to North Carolina. So I kept applying for jobs. I applied for jobs in Charlotte, I applied for jobs in Raleigh, and I ended up getting an interview in Raleigh. And interview to me sounded like I had a job. So I packed my things up from Arizona. My lease wasn't up in Arizona. I risked a lot during this process. My lease was not up, but my best friend and her boyfriend were still living there, so I continued to pay rent after I left, packed my things up and went to North Carolina, and I went and stayed in these people's house for 3 months that didn't know I was. It's a whole situation with that story, but I got there. I took the risk. I ended up getting a full time job in an apartment in 90 days, and it was very very scary. It was very very challenging. I had a lot of people tell me that I was crazy, that I should just go home, and I didn't. I stayed where I was, and I saw it through, and I ended up getting this beautiful life. Like look at where I'm at right now. For my 36th birthday, when I was 26, 10 years ago, I was homeless. I was homeless. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have anything. And 10 years later, this is the life that I've built for myself. I'm on vacation with my husband. I kind of like, you really never know. I don't want to get emotional on this here camera, but you really never know how life is going to turn out for you when you take chances. And when you follow your dream, when you follow your heart. Yeah, Jeremiah 29:11. For sure, for sure. Because the entire journey, I just was like, God, you gotta watch over me. I drove across the country by myself 2 times, twice, and I'm just like, I'm by myself. But I mean, I wasn't by myself because I was covered and protected. And the entire time, it was being carved out for me. Because as soon as I got to North Carolina, my life changed. Within a year, I met my husband. I met all my friends. I had my own place. I was making 3 times more than what I was making when I first moved there. Like, it was a journey. It was a journey for sure, but we did it. And so I wanted to share some of the things that I've learned over the last 10 years just about life, love, womanhood, you know. Some of the biggest challenges and things that I've learned have been like with like emotionally dealing with abandonment. because I dealt with a lot of loss in my life, a lot of grief. And um, one thing that I will say that I learned is that when people leave your life, it's not always abandonment. Sometimes people just aren't meant to go to that next place with you. Sometimes their part in your story has been served, and it's okay for you to keep going without them. They did their part. Release them with love. It's gonna hurt. I know for me it hurt a lot because I don't like losing people. I don't like losing relationships. I don't like losing people that I love. I don't like losing those connections. But sometimes it's like they've done what they came here to do in this part of your life. Even though you want them to come for the long haul, for the long journey, that's not the intent for their part in your story. And that's okay to process that, but we have to learn to not be resentful because of who we wanted them to be in our lives. There are so many people in my family, so many friends. I'm like, wow, you should have been here. But maybe no, maybe they shouldn't have. You know? Like, you have to be grateful for the people who are there currently, who are supposed to be there. So that's one of the major things that losing relationships doesn't always mean people are abandoning you. A lot of us have experienced abandonment in our lives, and it's caused us to feel a lot of grief. But it's not always being abandoned. So, and that's a lesson that I'm learning currently, actively. um, so you have to heal that wound. Another big thing that I will say is learn to trust yourself more than you trust others. One thing that I always did and recently have been getting out of is like learning to trust myself more than I trust other people. Like when I have an idea or decision that I want to make, I'm going to different people. Like, what do you think about this? Just do it. Like, if God gave it to you, if the idea came to you, if you feel it, then just go ahead and do it. Like, it's cool to get people's opinions, but sometimes people's opinions will take you away from what it is that you're supposed to be doing because they don't agree with it, because they didn't see the vision. They didn't see what was put on your heart, and they might not be as passionate about it. So when you feel it, sometimes, okay, get another opinion, somebody you trust who's unbiased, but most of the time you just gotta go for it. You gotta go for the thing. I love that. Okay, here we go now. Yeah. So trust yourself more than you trust others. Learn discernment. Learn to trust that voice that's in here. It's not gonna steer you wrong. I learned that because even with traveling across state, my family was like, "You doing what? You going where?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm out. This is what's been placed on my heart. This is what God told me to do, so I'm gonna do it." And people gonna think you crazy a lot of times, and you might not have a lot of support, and you might feel isolated, you might feel judged, but you just gotta go for it because you never know what the end result's going to be. You never know what the end result's going to be. Thank you, Anna. I am forever swayed. You never know what the end result's going to be. So just go for the thing. Trust yourself and just go for it. And do what you got to do. Heal the wounds of fear and abandonment. Yeah. I wish someone would have told me that years ago, but I ended up doing it. So, or working on it. Oh, another one for my girls and guys and gays who are sensitive and are told or have been told that you're too sensitive. Understand that your sensitivity, vulnerability, and transparency is a gift. It's a gift. And a lot of people will say that you're too something because they're scared, because they're not willing to be open to do that thing. A lot of people are afraid to be vulnerable and transparent, and it scares them when they meet somebody who already is, somebody who's self-actualized and is not afraid of sharing their emotions. Most people don't want to talk about their feelings. Like they think that's lame. They think it's uncomfortable. A lot of people don't want to be uncomfortable. Emotions and feelings make people uncomfortable. So don't don't change who you are because other people are uncomfortable with it. Find your people. There's other people out here who want to be in a relationship with people who are vulnerable, transparent, and in touch with their, sensitive side. Sensitivity, transparency, and vulnerability are gifts in this world because so many people just aren't, just aren't that, you know. So I think that's really important because I'm a very sensitive person. My entire life, I suppressed those emotions because I was told I was too sensitive. I was too soft. I was a crybaby and all these things. Yeah, I am. I was and I am. But it's not a bad thing. Now that I see how many people struggle with crying, struggle with getting in touch with their emotions, and how now I'm learning that not processing those emotions and not being in touch with those emotions causing people to be sick because you don't know how to cry, sis. Let it out. Let it out. You have to learn to get in touch with that side of yourself. So I wish that at 26 I knew that it was okay to be soft, you know, because it's beautiful and people are going to need that one day. And I'm grateful that now I recognize that people need it for me. And I'm able to share that with people, you know? Because the world is hard enough. We don't have to be as hard with it. You know? Like we can do better. Be loving and don't let the world harden your heart. Don't let the world change you. Let's see, what else I got on my list? Ooh, don't be so naive to think that things won't happen to you. Okay, don't sit up on that high horse. Okay, because yeah, God can get you through some things, but don't get up there and think that you're above anybody. Because just as quick as you got the thing, you can lose the thing. Don't be so naive to think that something that happened to somebody else, don't judge nobody. Don't be naive to think that things will not happen to you. You can lose that car, you can lose that man, you can lose that house, you can lose that job. You can lose all the things. Don't be so naive to think that things will happen to you. I feel like I went through that at one point, and it was like, oh, somebody got up on water. I think I knew I went through that at one point. It was like, mm, that never gonna be me. Don't say never, girl. Don't say never. Okay? Don't be naive. There was another point about naivete that I wanted to bring to light, but I can't think of it right now. Just don't be naive. Pay attention to what's going on around you, because I'm a person who, hi. I'm a person who probably could have been more aware. I got myself into a lot of stuff. I got myself into a lot of stuff over the course of the last, 10 years, but I mean, it worked out. Not without its challenges, of course, but we got here, and I'm appreciative of the experiences because now I can share them with y'all. You know. Um, don't put others before yourself. Yeah, you're gonna have to learn to put yourself before other people. You can't save everybody. You won't wear yourself out, girl.
Get your charger. Charge your phone or your phone.
Okay, thank you, babe. because we about to leave. Yeah. Okay. Oh. You know what? Yeah. Let me go. Because we got something to do. We're about to leave. Charge my phone. He's right. Yeah. I'll come back later. And we will talk some more. I gotta use the bathroom. I'm about to come in here. Because the one thing about being out here is that you don't have good Wi-Fi. Another thing too, you're going to have to choose your family. Your friends will become your chosen family. And that's okay if you are not somebody who is close to your family. Yeah. That's okay. There's people in the world who are going to love you. And you haven't met all of the people who are ready to love you yet. Okay? So, I hope everybody has a beautiful, happy Sunday. Just wanted to come on here. My birthday's on Tuesday. The channel's birthday's on Tuesday. So I wanted to come on here for Self-Care Sunday. We are about to go rest. I'll let y'all know where I'm at when I leave. But I'm loving it. I'm super excited to be here. I'm about to go enjoy the rest of my day, but I wanted to come on here and spend some time with y'all. Yeah. Love you so much. Talk to you later. Bye.